Whew. Well, it looks like it stopped. As he spoke, Jumpy wiped the sweat from his forehead with a trembling hand. Goddamn thing's gonna give me a heart attack. A muscle stood out on Seven's neck, and the corners of his mouth were twitching.
Jumpy, are you alright? Are you guys okay?
They could hear anxious voices, muffled but distinct, from the other side of the door. Yeah, we're fine. The detonators have been deactivated. They heard relieved sighs, and even through the door the three men could feel the tension disperse. Alright, we're moving on. Be careful, okay?
Okay.
Sure thing. They heard footsteps moving away, and before long they were alone again. Jumpy looked around. The hallway hit a dead end, 20 or 30 feet from where they stood. A thick iron wall blocked their way. Try as they might to force it, the wall refused to move. To the left, however, was a wooden door that looked positively inviting by comparison. In the middle of it was a plaque that read First Class. A first-class cabin, huh? Well, it seems like it. Let's have a look then, shall we? Die-dumm! Without hesitation, Snake opened the door and stepped inside. Seven followed closely behind him. Jumpy moved to follow them as well, but... He stopped, just short of the threshold, and looked back, not knowing why. Lying in the small hallway was a man's body, or at least what was left of it. He tried hard to avoid looking at the grisly scene, but it just wouldn't leave his mind. What had once been a man's internal organs now looked like so much vomit, as though something had chewed up and spit out the better part of his torso. It was hideous, but worse still, it was cruel. It was hard to believe the thing on the floor had once been human. The black pool of thick blood, the lumps of glistening flesh spread across the floor, the awkward, twisted tangle of shredded intestines, the head wrenched to some grotesque, unnatural position. The man's glasses lay next to his head. The lenses were cracked, and the frame bent and distorted. And next to the glasses lay a bracelet, the number 9 still displayed on its face.
Lastly, let us discuss how to remove the bracelets. There are only 2 ways to do so. 1. You escape from this ship. 2. Your heart rate reaches 0. In other words, once the bracelet is taken outside the confines of the ship, or detects that its various heartbeat has fallen to 0, it will shut down automatically.
Suddenly, Jumpy felt his stomach convulse and a knot of muscle gripped his throat. He clapped his hands over his mouth and ran to the first-class cabin. Kann man es ihm verübeln? Nicht wirklich. Aber wir haben gerade etwas sehr Wichtiges festgestellt oder sehr Interessantes gesehen. Das Armband mit der Nummer 9, es war noch so ziemlich intakt, könnte man so sagen. Nur so. Ist wirklich interessant, weil im Endeffekt, das haben die meisten von euch ja sowieso vermutet, dass irgendwie das Armband mit der Nummer 9 noch irgendwo im Umlauf wäre oder irgendwas in der Art. Jetzt wissen wir zumindest, es ist da. Aber, interessanterweise natürlich, die Konstellationen haben sich jetzt ein bisschen geändert. Denn Ace und Clover, die sind diesmal nicht durch diese Tür gegangen. Tja, auch vielleicht einfach nur mal so im Hinterkopf behalten. The atmosphere changed immediately. The room was gorgeous, and despite the apparent age of the ship, none the worse for wear. He looked around. Seven and Snake were nowhere to be seen. There were 2 doors on the right side of the room. He opened the one on his right, and went through. On the other side of the door was a short hallway. He jogged down the hallway, opened the door at the other end, and peeked through. There they were, to his right, busy examining something. He stepped through the door and walked toward them. "What's up?" "Check this out. We found this thing here on the door." The red light's on. Does that mean it's locked? So I would assume. Is there any other way out? We looked around a little. Other than this door, we didn't find anything. So you're telling me that unless we can open this door... Yes, we won't be going anywhere. Jumpy stepped away from the door and looked around the room. The room they were in looked like a bedroom. He figured the room he'd originally entered was a living room or whatever passed for one on a ship. Alright, let's find a way to open this door. Come on, guys. Seek a way out. Gut. Und da sind wir also wieder in einem Adventure-Part und dürfen wieder fleißig Rätsel lösen. Und der Hering hat absolut keine Ahnung von gar nichts. Ja, ich habe keine Ahnung, wie das Ganze jetzt hier vonstatten geht. Macht aber nichts, wir gucken uns einfach um. So wie immer. So. So, this is the locking thing. It's flashing red. That's usually not a good sign. Is that a microphone? It looks like a satellite dish. Let me see. Well, judging by the feel of it, I would guess that we are meant to produce some sort of sound. And this device will sense it and unlock. Okay. Ja, die Idee ist schon mal nicht schlecht, sagen wir es mal so. Doesn't look like there's a keyhole on this door. True, but there's some strange device in Leo for one. In Leoi? The exit. It's locked tight, we can't get it open. In Leoi, ich habe keine Ahnung, das war zum ersten Mal. Habe ich das Spiel schon mal gespielt? Ja, egal. Was soll's. So. Klar, er wollte einfach nur darauf hinweisen, dass da noch was an der Tür ist. Aber das haben wir ja schon gesehen. Ach, was soll's. A white desk. Feels kinda fancy. Schön. It's a small round chair. Looks like it probably goes to the vanity. Ein Bett. Oh, natürlich, der Klassiker unterm Kopfkissen. Scoreplate A. Oh, Noten. Interessant. Nein, ja, toll. Interessant und der Hering klickt's gleich weg. It took Jumpy by surprise. Snake, usually so calm and collected, suddenly began to move. He stared about the room, almost frantically, clearly looking for something. No, Jumpy thought, not staring. After all, he's blind. Blind or not, Snake was clearly attempting to do something. At last, Jumpy could no longer contain his curiosity. What are you doing? Snake waited a moment before answering. I heard something strange. Something strange? Well, never mind. There doesn't seem to be anything suspicious. I don't wish to toot my own horn, but my auditory senses are considerably more advanced than those of most humans. I notice even the slightest of noises. Right, are you gonna tell me you can hear a needle drop from a mile away? Ha, no, such a thing would be impossible. However, by listening to the sound of footsteps and breathing, as well as sound echoing of the environment, I can locate most objects. Oh yeah, that's right. When Clover fell on the big staircase a little while ago, you were at her side immediately. So that was... Yes, I could hear it happening. In fact, I can run quite fast, certainly as fast as you. And should someone attempt to start a fight with me, I'm quite confident that I could defeat them. Jumpy was somewhat taken aback by this revelation. He stared at Snake, skeptical. You don't believe me, do you? Care to give me a try? I must warn you, you'll no doubt regret it. Well, I suppose that's enough playing around. Let's resume our search, shall we? With a small, self-satisfied smile, Snake turned and walked away from Jumpy. Okay, das war ja jetzt auch irgendwie auf eine gewisse Art und Weise interessant, ne? Dass ausgerechnet Snake jetzt so eine Behauptung fallen lässt, so von wegen, wenn mich jemand angreifen würde, dann könnte ich mich durchaus zur Wehr setzen. Ist ja... ja... passt irgendwie nicht. Wenn ich das mal so sagen darf. So, beim Bett haben wir mittlerweile genug untersucht. Was haben wir hier noch? Eine Kommode. It's totally a table with a mirror. Ah, yes. You know, that sort of thing is known as vanity. Were you aware of that, Jumpy? Of course, vanity also refers to self-love, conceit and narcissism. As such, you could say that every day when a woman looks into one of these, she is staring at her own conceit and narcissism. Doesn't that strike you as terribly sad? Er macht sich eindeutig zu viele Gedanken über manche Dinge, aber interessant. The lights are lit. Oh, ein Klavier. A piano keyboard. What is Snake doing? He can't play, can he? This piano... there's something amiss with the keys. You mean it's out of tune or something? No, not that. It's properly tuned, just... well, the sounds are clearly purposefully different. The C key doesn't yield a C, but rather a different note entirely. The same goes for the D keys. They play some other note. Huh? Why do you think it's like that? Isn't it painfully obvious? Zero modified it in some way. This piano, you see, is part of one of the puzzles Zero has set for us. Perhaps, if you play the keys in the correct order, something will happen. In other words, we need to play a song on the piano. I believe so. Könnte auf eine gewisse Art und Weise Sinn machen, immerhin haben wir mittlerweile auch Noten gefunden. What's this? This isn't a score. Is this a map of the ship? A map? There's a map of the ship here? Yeah. Then I imagine it will prove very helpful. You'd best hold onto it, Jumpy. Okay. It is now possible to use the map screen. Schön. A music stand. Well, might as well put this glass plate on it. Oh, Is something wrong? It's kinda hard to see the notes. Maybe if I put something under them? A background for the notes. Achso, da müssen wir erst was finden. Gut, okay, macht auf eine gewisse Art und Weise Sinn. It's a white desk. Snakes. Rubbing it. This is a high quality desk. Teak. Or perhaps mahogany. Wow, how can you tell? Oh, I have my ways. Wow, okay. Wir merken jedenfalls, Snake ist auf eine gewisse Art und Weise etwas Besonderes. Okay, bei der Tür ist das... Was ist das für eine Tür? Oh, hier haben wir ein kleines Zimmerchen. A leather suitcase. There's nothing inside. I can tell by the weight and it makes no noise when shaken. Okay, dann halt nicht. Ah, aber hier ist was drin. Scoreplate, C. Okay, jetzt haben wir schon mal unsere zweite. Und hier oben. This safe is locked. It's one of those dial locks. It doesn't have a key. We just need to get the dials in the right place and it'll open. Did you find anything, Seven? Nope. How about you, Snake? I also found nothing. Tja, Glück laufen. Den Safe kriegen wir dann also momentan noch nicht auf.